welcome back. I am Tiffany and I'm back with another video. And like I said, y'all gonna see me when y'all see me for now. But today I have another video for y'all prepared. And I am going to read it all. I wrote a whole piece and I'm going to get into it. I'm going to talk about the woman with the issue of blood for today. So let me get into it right away. 12 years of blood. Who was the woman with the issue of blood? We can read about this story in Mark, Luke, and Matthew. It is a short story within a larger story. It is a story when the Lord was on his way to the synagogue's leader's house to heal his dying daughter when he was interrupted by this mysterious woman. So what do we know about this mysterious woman? We know that she had a bleeding condition for up to 12 years long. We know that she had spent all her money, all she had, on physicians to find a cure that could actually heal her illness with no results. In fact, her illness became even worse. We know as well that the Jewish law had declared her to be unclean due to her illness, and therefore they had forbidden her to enter the temple. They stated that whoever touched her or she touches would become unclean as well. So after 12 years of suffering, she was desperate for a miracle. And when she heard about Jesus, she decided to mingle herself into the crowd, came up behind him and touched his cloak. Because she believed that if she could just touch his clothes, that she would be healed by just a touch of his clothes. So as soon as she did, she was instantly healed and the bleeding stopped, and she knew that she was finally healed and set free from her disease. In this piece, we can honestly really see how the Lord reveals his power. Because can you imagine, this woman was sick and suffering for 12 years straight. Nobody could help her. There was no cure. Nobody could heal her. No doctor, no nothing. Her illness even became worse, but only by the touch of the clothes of the Lord, she became instantly healed. That is wonderful, honestly. That is power beyond our understanding, beyond our capacity to even, I don't know. It's just amazing, honestly. So the Lord really reveals his power in this piece, and yeah, it's wonderful, right? I don't know, I don't even have words to say, as you can see. So but I want to go into the Old Testament so we can get the point of Jesus regarding the law. So Leviticus 15:31 reads, "You must keep the Israelites separate from things that make them unclean, so they will not die in their uncleanness, for defiling my dwelling place which is among them." This was the law. This was in the Old Testament before Jesus' arrival. Because in the Old Testament, the temple was where God dwelt among the Israelites. But in the New Testament, God dwelt among men in person as Jesus Christ. And we can read in John 1:14, "The Word became flesh and made his dwelling among us. We have seen his glory, the glory of the one and only Son who came from the Father, full of grace and truth." So through Jesus, the penalties of the law had been reversed. That is why the contamination of the world had no effect on him. The Jewish law declared the woman to be unclean due to her illness. Therefore, she had no permission to enter in God's dwelling place, which was the temple. They stated that whoever she touched or whoever touches her would become unclean, which actually would have meant that when she decided to mingle herself into the crowd, whoever bumped into her or she bumped into or touched would have become unclean as well, would have been contaminated by her. But the woman did not make Jesus unclean. Jesus was God's dwelling place. Instead, Jesus made her clean. Jesus came to set us free from our sins and wash us from all our sins. He came to cleanse us, and that is what he did. He cleansed her. So in that moment that she touched Jesus, his clothes, the Lord had asked, who has touched my clothes? Because he knew the healing power flown out of him. He could feel healing power had flown out of him. But his disciple didn't understand why the Lord would ask such question, because he was surrounded by so many people who was pressing into him along the way. It seemed obvious to them that someone or anyone could have touched him, but Jesus knew that the one who touched him did so with a specific reason. So then the woman came forward and explained herself. And as she explained herself to the Lord, why she did what she did, why she touched him, the Lord, cleared up every misconception about her illness and healing. And he said to her, we can read in Mark 5:34, and he said to her, daughter, your faith has made you well. Go in peace and be healed of your disease. So he set her free from her disease. Now, I think this piece is very beautiful. Honestly, I think this woman is a very, very, very bold believer. Honestly, she really had faith. She was also desperate. She was really desperate, and she took the risk. But honestly, we can take an example. We can take an example from this woman, because honestly, her faith was very, very bold. Even though the law had actually forbidden her to come to the temple or be in the temple, she knew that she wasn't allowed to be, definitely not allowed to be around Jesus, I assume. She still took the risk and did what she did out of faith, out of believing that she would be healed by only touching the Lord's clothes. And what I think is very beautiful as well is that the Lord was on his way to another mission. He was on his way to this synagogue leader's house to heal his dying daughter, but he took the time to acknowledge this woman. He took the time to acknowledge her, and because of her bold faith that she had, the Lord had set her free from her suffering. He set her free because of her bold faith. And it really shows us sometimes, sometimes you think that the Lord doesn't see us, that the Lord doesn't pay attention to our sufferings and doesn't acknowledge us. But honestly, God shows in this piece that he has time to acknowledge us all, that he is actually there for us, that he takes the time, that he sees us, that he worries about us, that he cares when we are suffering, that he cares when we are hurting, that he cares when we deal with whatever we are dealing in or with in this world, and that he takes time to acknowledge us because he sees us. And I think that is a very, very beautiful way that the Lord shows that he really loves us, and care for us, because he could have continued to walk away and allow the woman to be healed and they both have gone about their day. But no, he took time to acknowledge the woman. And I think that is very, very, very admirable. I think it's amazing. The Lord is amazing. Honestly, he's amazing, isn't he? He is amazing. So I want to say that, a lot of people in this world are suffering every single day. A lot of people who are suffering from illnesses, mental illnesses. They are ill within. They are sick in their heart, sick in their mind, sick in their soul. They are sick because of this world, sick of all the sicknesses in this world. They're sick of depression. They are sick of, jealousy, sick of angerness, bitterness, sick of resentment, sick of bitterness, sick of sadness, and I want to say that whoever is feeling that way, seek the Lord. Be bold like this woman. Be bold in seeking the Lord. Don't feel ashamed. Don't think that the Lord is not acknowledging you because maybe you feel like the Lord is over there acknowledging someone else or busy with someone else. No. The Lord makes time for those who seek him. Seek the Lord wholeheartedly in spirit and in truth. And you will see how God can turn all the bad in your life and heal you and turn it all for good. The Lord can do that. This woman was so desperate. Don't be afraid to be desperate for healing and seeking the Lord for healing, because he is the only one who can heal us from all that we go through in this world. A lot of people are holding on to unaddressed anger, unaddressed sadness, unaddressed emotions, and they are holding so tight to it, not letting it go, which causes them to become sick, which causes them to have mental illnesses, which causes them to hurt other people because they are hurting, because they feel sick inside. Allow God to heal you. Allow God to heal those broken pieces. Allow God to restore you. I don't know, this word is awesome, honestly. I don't know why this woman doesn't have a name, honestly. I kind of find it interesting that her name is not really mentioned, but I love the story. It shows a lot about what walking by faith means. Actually, she had a very bold faith. She took the risk, and she got what she wanted because of her faith, because she believed that she could be healed. That made the Lord moved by her action. And I think it's very beautiful. It's a very beautiful story. And for all the people out there that are suffering, who are feeling sick, from whatever you're feeling sick, seek the Lord. He's the only one who can heal you. He is the only one who can heal you. So that is the story for today. Honestly, it is a short story, still a very powerful and wonderful story. I hope it was clear for everyone to understand. And yeah, may God bless all of y'all, and I'll see y'all in my next video.